Next, let's look at the Sugar Bowl, Arkansas and Ohio State. Ohio State is a 3-point favorite. I admit I was slightly surprised by this line. I thought it would be a bit bigger. I did bet Ohio State a bit at -3. My initial thoughts were that, yes, Arkansas has an awesome passing game, a lot of impressive strengths, but that Iowa State is a more complete team and worthy of a line closer to 7, if not on 7. But now I'm not so sure. Arkansas has had some good success on defense this year against mobile quarterbacks similar to Terrell Pryor, and they'll have the break to prepare. But on the other hand, Cam Newton did have a big day against them. So the question is this game likely to be more like the Cam Newton-Auburn game, or more likely to be like the games where they, were able to contain a star mobile QB and win? Zach, what do you think?
I like Ohio State in this game, as does our computer. I mean, Arkansas is one of the better fast-starting teams. Again, if you have in-game betting and Arkansas scores first, I would really make a double unit, maybe triple unit bet on Ohio State, because chances are you could be getting as many as 4 to 5 points if Arkansas scores first, rather than having to lay the points. Arkansas is probably among the worst teams in college football for making adjustments from the second quarter on. And Ryan Mallett is probably one of the more irresponsible passers in America, and it reflects in what his interception ratio is. Right. Take a look at all the problems that are happening with Ohio State, and just remember that none of them are going to take effect until next year. So you have guys that have probably had their face mask grabbed and been spoken to that you might really want to focus. And I think that this game, that Ohio State just is going to have the ability to wear them down and beat them probably pretty soundly. Because Arkansas does have some razzle-dazzle, don't get me wrong, right, but I just don't like Arkansas from the second quarter on in any game, and Ohio State is a solid football team.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was seeing it too. John Ryan, what do you think? Ohio State?
I agree with Ohio State. Zach, you outlined so well there. Ohio State is a very disciplined team, both sides of the ball. They have the defense that can play against that type of offense. Whereas on the other side of the ball, Arkansas, I just see them getting worn down at the defensive front. They've had trouble anchoring against SEC teams. And Ohio State can play like an SEC team many times. So I think Ohio State will wear them down. It might be evident even before the second quarter, going into the third quarter. So here again, that in-line bet that you just mentioned too, I like quite a bit.
Okay, Bob Harvey, what do you think? Ohio State?
Yeah, I do. I like Ohio State. They're primarily because of their defense, Peter, which allowed 13 points and 250 yards per game last year, among the top 3 in the nation in both categories. They've got a bunch of knuckleheads on that team, but I think they'll do enough here to be able to get by Arkansas. One other note too about the Buckeyes: they're 6-2 in their last 8 bowl games, and even though Arkansas is coming off a pretty good season too, 10-2. They are not a team that has done necessarily very well in the bowl game. So a slight edge to Ohio State in this one, and a game that stays under 58.